is T.J. Walker. He's a friend of ours here at Strategy Room. Hello, T.J. Nice to see you. I understand you have a new book out, T.J. Walker's Secret to Foolproof Presentations. So,
that's actually the
let me see.
old book. The new one.
Oh, wow,
is
look
how
at this
to give
one.
A pretty good presentation.
Wait a minute. So now you don't want us to be perfect. You just want us to be pretty good?
Well, this book is written for the vast majority of the world.
Oh.
And let's face it, most people in the world. Most people in the world aren't like you and me. Most people don't like giving speeches.
Oh, yeah.
Books,
we love to hear ourselves
we
talk.
do. But most books are written for people who want to give a foolproof presentation or a standing ovation presentation. Most people don't want to do that. Most people just want to get by. This book is the first one really written for them. That's what it's about.
Really? Oh, that's
and I
interesting.
guarantee people, if they read this and follow the prescriptions, they won't be nervous. And I guarantee them, if they just do a little practice with an iPhone or with a webcam, they will actually give a pretty good presentation. I want them to know it's okay to not
That's a really good
aspire
idea.
to being a great platform speaker the way you are,
Oh,
or a great
please.
motivational speaker. It's okay
Thank
to
you.
just get up, present, and be confident.
You just gave me an idea right there, because my mom used to have me practice in front of the mirror whenever I'd have a school. I was very, very shy when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's hard to believe now. And I'm actually still pretty shy. I mean, what I do in front of the camera is one thing, and I have a great time and everything, but in my personal life, especially when it comes to meeting in-laws, that's terrible. I shouldn't say that out loud. But I can be, and so my mom would have me practice in front of the mirror. But now, you can practice in front of a webcam, record it, and then go back and look at
The
it.
problem with the mirror is most people are looking at the mirror like, oh, is my nose crooked?
Yeah,
Is
you're
something
focused
happening to
only
my
on.
hair?
Well, this is great.
So
okay.
it's much easier to just use an iPhone or a webcam and record
Terrific.
yourself.
Well, great. How to give a pretty good presentation, a speaking survival guide for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you were a Wall Street Journal best-selling author.
And #1 USA Today last year with a
Congratulations.
Thank
Look
you.
at you. You go, TJ.
Yes.
And here he is. He's on Strategy Room all the time. We didn't even know we had a rock star. Well, we did, but we didn't know he was celebrated in that way. Hey, look, you watched some of the Elena Kagan confirmation
Yes.
hearings this week. They're still going on for Supreme Court, and you have some definite thoughts about how you think she's doing. How do you think she's doing?
Well, she's boring. She's bland.
Whoa!
She's not interesting. She's not particularly charismatic.
It's the Supreme Court. Is she supposed to be interesting?
Well, here's the thing. She's doing exactly what she should be doing if she wants to get the goal. The goal is Senate confirmation. The goal is not more guest appearances on TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's actually a brilliant strategy. The #1 rule anyone should follow when they're getting ready to give a speech, a talk show appearance, a Senate confirmation hearing, is focus on what your objective is. Her objective is not to dazzle people with her intellect or come across as interesting or win a debate with senators. That's not the objective. The objective is don't ruffle feathers and get votes. Don't say anything that can be seen as wildly inflammatory that's going to mobilize people to pick up the phone and call their
like
senator
the one soundbite that everybody
and
remembers.
demand that they vote against
Right.
her. So it was actually a brilliant performance because it was bland, boring, uninteresting, non-confrontational.
You know what I think is so interesting about what you're saying, though, and I thought this the first day, I think it was, that she talked about why she's against Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and as a Harvard Law dean of the Harvard Law School, she was the dean there, kept military off campus, didn't want any demonstrations, recruiting or anything, because she was against Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and she said, was, then, still am, and I thought, whoa, that's going to be a big, juicy headline. It wasn't, really. It was a story for about a minute, and then they moved on to the next thing, because she said it like this: I didn't support it then, and I don't support it now. And people went, okay, that's no surprise.
And it wasn't emotional. And she also laid out facts of, I was simply upholding the policy of the school.
You think she's been coached?
Well, I can't imagine anyone in that position not rehearsing. It would be crazy not to.
With the webcam?
With the webcam.
Can't you see Elena Kagan sitting in front of her iPhone going, man, I look good.
Whether it's a webcam, a fancy camera like you have here, it doesn't matter the technology. What does matter is that you practice and come across the way you want. The way she came across, I would argue, is perfect for any Supreme Court nominee who isn't trying to win new votes, but is trying to keep from losing votes.
Oh, yeah.
And if you are a nominee from a party in power, and not only in the White House, who does the nomination, but with the Senate, then you don't want to try to win over new people. You want to make sure you don't alienate people. So it's a good strategy whether you're a Republican nominee or a Democratic nominee.
Did you watch the president's speech this week on immigration?
I saw parts of it, and you're right, it wasn't earth-shatteringly different.
Yeah, I had said that earlier in the program.
But he is, as Bob
47 minutes of like the same thing.
As Bob Beckel pointed out a moment ago, he is positioning himself politically, saying, I'm not like the Republicans who seem to think anybody from any place else who wasn't born here 200 years ago is somehow bad. And he's positioning himself.
Which isn't fair, because that's not true.
But that's how the Democrats are characterizing it.
So what do you think he did well, and what do you think he didn't do well in the speech this week?
Well, what he did well is, again, take that middle position, come across as moderate. He says, I'm not in favor of letting everyone just come into our country willy-nilly, but I don't think we should spend a lot of time, for example, with every Arizona policeman stopping everyone and trying to figure out where you're from.
But you know it's not going to happen like that. They have to fight crime, too. I mean, this is what everybody thinks is going to happen inside their head. But if reality were a reflection of what everybody thought, we wouldn't leave our houses. I mean, it's not going to work like that. But it's easy for those who are against any, sort of movement. And I don't even think it's the law of Arizona. I think it's that the law stepped out, and Arizona stepped out with the law on its own. I think it went rogue, and the administration just doesn't approve of that.
But the administration is in a good position on this issue in that they are...
You think so?
The administration is trying to, much more so than a complex issue like banking reform and TARP and health care.
Snoozer. No, it's important stuff, but it is a snoozer.
Well, we are, as Beckel pointed out, we are going into an election, and there are an awful lot of Hispanic voters who are uncomfortable with what they feel is a conservative philosophy of throw them all out. Not saying that's a fair characterization, but it is the Democrats.
That is how they're painting it.
It is the Obama administration's job to speak out, not only on behalf of their administration, but the Democratic Party. They're trying to draw a contrast. To that extent, it was a successful political speech.
That's a salient point, that if Republicans want to step out on this issue and be perceived as being different, they're going to have to do it on their own. They cannot be painted by the brush of Democrats. They can't just sit idly by and be passive and think, well, the American public is with the law in Arizona, so we're on the right side of the argument. Yeah, but you can't be silent in that.
Cardinal rule of communication. You can't let your opponents define you. You have to be putting messages out. And that's how I would blame Obama, and many people blamed Obama the first year of the health care debate, is he was consistently letting everyone else have their ideas.
Yeah, we didn't really know what he wanted because he never talked about
it. And that almost derailed his whole program because he wasn't really saying, here's exactly what I want.
Okay, real quickly, in 30 seconds or less, how's he doing on the oil spill? Because I want to tell everybody, what TJ does is he trains the best speakers and people who go before the public around the world. I mean, you do. That's what you do. So, say Obama's your client now. How's he doing?
Well, he's doing better than Tony Hayward, but that's not saying much.
That's like saying, well, you're taller than this.
Yes. Well, the good news for him is it has not brought his polls down, but it's definitely
No, because people don't blame him for the oil spill. They blame him for not acting fast enough.
He's got to be out front on a daily basis saying, here's exactly what we're doing. Here's how we're bringing other countries in. Here's how we're bringing other oil companies in. Here are other ways we are punishing BP. Here are other ways we're getting more funds out. He's doing a lot better than he was. Unfortunately, it's those initial reactions
he started at a negative
in the first couple of weeks. In the same way, you really help yourself. Rudy Giuliani, to this day, is famous and respected because of how he behaved those first hours, those first 2 weeks after 9/11. And unfortunately, that's when people saw Bush dawdling with Katrina, but also Obama dawdling with what happened in the oil spill.
T.J. Walker, fascinating dude. Thank you for
Good
coming
to be
in.
here.
Appreciate it. Good luck with the book, you best-selling author, you.